Hello and welcome back to the Great Football Chat, where today I want to talk about the Champions League final. It's 2 days later, my thoughts have settled a bit more, and I want to talk about why PSG embarrassed Inter Milan so much, and what has gone right for PSG and what has gone wrong for Inter Milan. Let's start with PSG, the winners, obviously, right? They're such a great team to watch, man. Genuinely. Like, they're so direct. They use the ball to good effect. They take the game to the opposition. They try to attack. They try to create chances. Their conversion rate is not great. It's not like magnificent at that time. Well, in the final it was though. But the fact that they're just drowning opposition with in chances, and we saw that pretty much in every game in this run to the final. Maybe with the exception of Aston Villa, is the second leg against Aston Villa, but they're a great team. They're a great team, and I love watching them. And they work so hard as well. Like, there's this concept of some luxury players, right? Players who won't do the hard yards for the team and won't run, won't chase down people, won't press, won't defend, right? There was this clip going around of Luis Enrique trying to explain to Mbappe how he needs him to press, defend, so on, and it's going into one ear and straight out the other for Mbappe. And there was this moment in the final where fucking Kvaratskhelia chased down Dumfries like 2/3 of the length of the pitch, took the ball off him, and there was like 4-0 up in what was it? Basically like 75th to 80th minute. I mean, that type of hard work is exemplary for every player, and even though they are so technical, Doué, Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, Barcola, all of these guys, even Vitinha, Neves, Ruben Diaz, all of them are so technical, so good on the ball, but they are, how can I say it? They're not ashamed of chasing the ball down. They don't think it's like beneath them. They don't think that the other people in the team are there to serve them. This fucking prima donna attitude that was present throughout this team for most of the past time, right? When they bought the PSG, when these Qataris bought the PSG, well, they started big. They started with like signing Ibrahimovic, Di Maria, Neymar, Mbappe, Messi, and so on, right? Some of the signings were good. So like Donnarumma still in the team, he's turned out great. Marquinhos, and kind of a low key signing, but again turned out great, still in the team, right? So, but the others were like star players and marquee signings like Neymar, like Mbappe, like Zlatan. They are long gone, and with them they didn't achieve the type of success they achieve now. They just on the treble, right? They couldn't do it with these other players because their attitude wasn't there. Maybe like somebody like Messi, I kind of understand. He was already in his latter years, and he was not pressing and running around as much because just he couldn't, right? If you want to have a fucking 35-year-old Messi, you gotta accommodate him. But you can't say the same for Neymar and Mbappe, who are much younger and could run, but just did not. And this crop of players is much better in the sense of way, and it shows that the teamwork is the key in a team sport like football. You can have all these individuals who are well superior, but if they don't have the chemistry and the synergy and the willpower to work together, it's not you're not gonna achieve success, right? So there they are now. And well, good for them. Some people saying like, oh, this is like cheering for PSG. This is sports washing, so on and so forth. Genuinely, for me personally, what Qatar has done to like sports wash and improve its image in the eyes of the world, it genuinely doesn't really do anything for me. So when I think Qatar, I don't think of like World Cup or PSG. That's not the association I get. My association is, well, I don't know, like stereotypical Gulf Arab country, sand dunes and camels, basically. And call me what you will, but that's still my association. It didn't really do much to sports wash my brain. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe some people think, oh yeah, the 2022 World Cup, or oh yeah, they own the PSG. I don't know. And well, congratulations to PSG. They've been really good, and they deserve to win it. Probably the most difficult opponent were, well, it's logical. It was Liverpool. Liverpool was the one they overcame with the most difficulty. It took them all the way to the penalty shootout, but they did, and there they are, winners of the whole thing. Now, Inter Milan, god damn it, Inter Milan, man. How can you come out in the final and embarrass yourself like this? You know, I don't know how the dressing room works in this team and what the manager said to them, but just to collapse this way is unthinkable, man. You know, even I'm thinking back to the final in 2005, right, where AC Milan were 3-0 up against Liverpool at halftime, and by their own admission of Liverpool players at the time, they were fearing that this final was gonna be an embarrassment, just like the final this year was. But they did the opposite. They came out swinging, and from Gerrard scoring to Alonso equalizing, it's like 6 minutes in between those goals, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So they turned it around so quickly and held it together till the penalty shootout. Inter did not once show that there was anything coming from them for the whole game. It was a genuine embarrassment. There was a point at a time in game where the whole Inter Milan team had the same amount of shots as just one Kvaratskhelia for PSG. And I mean, how are you not ashamed of yourself to conduct yourself in this way in the biggest game of club football? Man, I don't know. I want to get into the reasons behind it, but clearly it's something in the mind. Well, I think first thing that I think of is their plan went to shit immediately because Hakimi scored early on. Inter Milan would have hoped to not concede for as long as possible, right? There was their game plan. And when Hakimi scored in the 12th minute, that plan flew right out of the window. And not long afterwards, in the 20th minute, Doué added a second one. So yeah. Then the second half comes. Well, they're still 2-0 down, but it's not game over. You can, we've seen 3-0 turned around in the second half in the Champions League final. So maybe you can turn the 2-0 deficit around as well. But this is big. I think what I'm about to get into right now was the pivotal mistake for Inter, which led to basically the collapse in the second half. Now, in the 54th minute, Inzaghi decided to make his first substitutions. He took Di Marco off and put on Zalewski, which is fair enough, I guess, because Di Marco wasn't having a good time. And he pulled off Pavard and he substituted on Bisek. At the time, I was thinking, you know what? You're 2-0 down. You're almost 10 minutes into the second half. it's time to break apart the three-man defense. It's time to take off a center back and add a midfielder, or maybe even a forward. There were options. I don't know, man. Like somebody who had previously proven so useful off the bench, Fratesi didn't come on. So I was expecting that he would pull off one of the center backs and put on Fratesi. So maybe they could wrestle the control in the midfield over from PSG, get a bit more energy in there, because man, Mkhitaryan's what? Mkhitaryan's like 35 or something, right? He cannot outrun the youthful legs of Vitinha and Neves. Well, Fabian Ruiz is not that young, but he's still a lot younger than Mkhitaryan. And so, Çalhanoğlu as well, he's not a young guy anymore. So, you need a bit more energy, a bit more legs in midfield to at least have a chance of competing, just to have the ball to create something. And he didn't do it. He basically changed two guys with the guys in the same position. A center back for center back and a wing back for a wing back. Then, I feel bad for saying this because Bisek got injured, but I don't know, was it like... Inzaghi receives this divine sign. The guy he put on, Bisek, gets injured and he has to come off. And I'm thinking, surely now that he has to sub off the player he just put on like 10 minutes ago, surely now he has to get another midfielder in or get a forward in, something, change something up. Just you waited 10 more minutes and nothing is changing in the game. Surely you need to make a difference here. And he substitutes Bisek for Damian, and immediately they concede the third goal, and that's that. And then for the fourth goal, there is a gargantuan chasm between Damian and Acerbi, and Kvaratskhelia just runs through, makes it 4-0, completely done at that point, right? So this is what I hate when managers do it. The sheer fucking stubbornness to change your way of playing. Most managers will have their preferred system, and that's fair enough. You'd like your manager to have a preferred system so everybody knows what they're doing, right? That is good. That's a good thing. But every manager should be flexible enough to adapt to a situation when they see clearly that what they have been planning is not working anymore. So you gotta change something at some point. And that was the point. First, when he made the first substitution, Inzaghi, that was the point where he should have broken apart the back three, added another midfielder or a forward. And he didn't do that then. And right after that, he got the second chance to do it. He didn't do it then either. And basically, immediately, the game was over. And Inter lost any chance of saving the game and their dignity in the end. Because they got just embarrassed. They got fucked in the ass in the Champions League final. That was genuinely embarrassing. There has never been a 5-goal margin in the Champions League final before, like, 31st of May. And I think Real Madrid won 7-3 against Eintracht Frankfurt back in, like, the 50s, I think. And that was the largest gap, or the 4-goal gap. But they scored 7 goals. I mean, it's Eintracht fucking Frankfurt. Like, you are Inter Milan. You have won this competition 3 times. You have also won the treble. You were in the final like 2 years ago. You shouldn't be embarrassing yourselves like this, man. They've had a fucking nightmare in Inter Milan. They lost out to the to the Serie A, to Napoli as well, who are by no means a great team. This Napoli team is held together solely by Lukaku and McTominay. And goddamn, man, Inter couldn't even capitalize on multiple slip-ups from Napoli. And in the end, they're left with nothing. And I don't know what they're gonna do in the future, but I've said this before in my video. The 3 center-back formation is a bit of a one-off. You can have a bit of success with that formation until you get found out. And even someone as dedicated to that formation as Antonio Conte has abandoned it. So there comes a time where you would need to change it and you would need to go to something else. And Inzaghi was just too stubborn to do it, and they paid the price. So yeah, that was my thoughts on the most embarrassing Champions League final of all time. Only one team in it, really. Hopefully we will never see something like this ever again. It's not nice to see, genuinely. It's nice to see a team playing as well as PSG, but it's not nice to see the opponent get embarrassed like that. I genuinely think even for PSG fans, they anticipated much harder challenge from Inter Milan. And they got basically no challenge at all. But here they are. They've won the treble. Another team has won the treble. And they're only the second side ever from France to win the Champions League. Funnily enough, France is considered the fifth to be the part of the top 5 leagues, but they are not really there. Like, counting the Champions League titles, they have 2. This is the second one. Marseille won the first, and now PSG. For comparison, like, Eredivisie has, I think, 6. 1 for Feyenoord, 1 for PSV, and 4 for Ajax. I think it's 4 for Ajax. Is it 3 or 4? I think it's 4. And even somebody like the Portuguese league, they also have 4 Champions League titles. 2 for Porto and Benfica each. So yeah, well, maybe it can change the trajectory of French football, but they need to somehow they need to raise the level in the rest of the league, because they're in a tough financial situation. The rest of the league, like Lyon, for example, have a massive amount of debt. I think they will be okay with selling the entirety of their squad at this point, and unless they come up with sufficient funds, they're gonna be just administratively relegated to League 2, and that's the situation a team like Lyon find themselves in, right? So speaks volumes about the rest of the league and what's happening to them, right? Because I don't know, Bordeaux have gone bankrupt. Saint-Étienne were the most successful French team before PSG. They have been relegated for the second time in I think in 3 seasons. So they were relegated now. Season before they were in League 2, and season before that they were relegated from League 1 as well. So yeah, they are struggling there, and somehow, some way they need to come up with something so the rest of the league can raise their level. Otherwise, it's just gonna be one shark and 17 other little fish, almost like it is with Bayern and Bundesliga. Yeah, some time and again, some team will come by and just win the league. But in the Champions League, the last time any other German team won was in 1997, Dortmund. So if they don't all want to fall to the wayside, they have to do something. So yeah, that's my points on the Champions League final. A bit more about that. And well, you see, I'm putting up more videos in succession. I have a very interesting video planned for the next one. I'm not gonna really reveal what it is, but I don't know, if you watch this, you may want to watch that. And after that, I'm probably gonna talk about the Club World Cup and how bullshit it is. And basically, that will be the point that leads me into introducing my version of the football calendar. And yeah, we'll see if you like it. So that's it for me. I'll see you later, and until then, so long.